Nice to see you again, friend eyes. Today we're doing baby's first Q&A. Yes, I do hate myself, if you were wondering. I do. So basically what I did was I asked for questions that people wanted to ask me. Anything at all that they wanted to ask on my Instagram. I got some responses on there and I'm going to answer your questions for the first time on this channel. I'm fully aware that Q&As are a thing that many a YouTuber does, and also many a person looks down upon, but I feel like as a viewer I tend to very much enjoy them. I like them. It's kind of nice to get that interactive element between the person in front of the screen and the people that watch them. Yeah, just to see the person we like to watch answer our questions, you know. There's a bit more of a personal touch. It feels a little bit more like this is a conversation rather than just a person sat behind a camera and, you know, a person sat behind a screen. So here we are. I will be reading my questions that has been asked off of my phone from Instagram. That's the way we're gonna do this. I have dressed kind of nicely today, but then I threw on this so that I could be comfy. You don't care, but I'm filming this one at night, which I haven't filmed one at night for like a year, or a long time anyway, because we're back into winter, so we lose daylight hours very quickly. I don't know where to begin. I'm going to try and answer, as long as I'm comfortable answering it, every single question that was asked, because at this point in my channel I am fully able to do so. You know, my channel is not huge, my social medias aren't huge, so the interaction between me and you is a little more intimate, so all of you deserve to have your questions answered, and I am capable of having answers to your questions because I'm not the sort of social media presence that like just gets an overwhelming number of questions and things, so you can't always include everyone. That's not me, at least right now. So while I can, I'm gonna answer every single question of yours that there is. Yes, sir. Question I'm gonna answer first is what's your sexuality and what's your relationship status? I know I've said this before because I have a video on it, but I am bisexual. The video that I had on it was how the process of me realising it, I suppose. It was sort of like a coming out video, but not titled the coming out video, because for me, coming out wasn't particularly something that I like fully felt like I needed to do, because I always knew my family is accepting of any person, shape and form, and all races, religions, sexes, sexualities rather, all of it. They are inclusive and accepting and loving of anything and everything, and they would never care as long as something made me happy. So I didn't name the video coming out because I know the sort of weight that coming out does have for a lot of people, and that wasn't my situation. You know, I wasn't in a situation where, you know, a lot of people are in families that don't accept it, you know, attack the concept of it, and I would never want to belittle the voices of people that have had an experience like that, because those people are very worthwhile being heard, and when they tell their stories it helps the people who are in similar situations who feel like they're not safe at home because their family don't accept them. So for me, making the video about my bisexuality wasn't as crazy a thing, because I knew that I already had a good support network around me, and I did sort of come out to my mum. I sent her a message one day while I was at uni, I think, at some point, and just said, hey, I'm bisexual. I just kind of realised recently and thought I wanted to tell you, so here you go. Yeah, that's my sexuality. My relationship status is taken by a boy, so that's me. I've wanted for a good while to make a video about how him and I got together, because it is a bit of a story. It's I don't know whether I said this before on my channel, but he like pursued me for a year before I ever accepted the possibility of us being anything more than friends, and we went through a lot before we even got together, and then after we got together. It's a good healthy relationship, which is real nice. Cringe levels rising. What else do we have? What else do we have? Somebody here asks, how's my studying going? Yeah, it's going okay. I just finished my term last week. I managed to get all my assignments in. I had 3. What I'm doing right now is a psychology master's, but it is all online and part-time. So usually you do a master's over 1 year. I'm doing it over 2 instead. So I've only had 2 modules this term, and yeah, they both just ended. I had 3 assignments to hand in overall from those modules. I won't know what the grades are till early January, so I don't really know how it's gone. I think it could have gone better overall. I did have like a couple weeks at different times where, you know, I was feeling particularly depressed again, you know, like in a depressive slump, and I couldn't get much of any studying done or anything, so I kind of fell behind at those times, but then managed to catch up again, which made it a little bit stressful. You know, it could have been easier overall if I were able to like work more steadily and consistently, but you know, I'm not gonna be hard on myself about having struggled at times with my mental health, because, you know, it's very valid. It happens to me and many others. Yeah, the only way you get through it is by being kind and patient with yourself and getting back to work as soon as you can again and you're ready to. And when you're not feeling like you can do much, if you get yourself to do like even little things, it can either help to get a ball rolling towards doing more if you need to, if you want to, or it can just generally make you feel a little bit better to take those little steps. Whether that's like doing tiny bits of studying, or like, I don't know, going and brushing your teeth or washing your hair or something. Who are your style inspirations? My style inspirations? See, that's a very complicated question to answer, because I feel like I'm constantly changing how I feel about how I want to clothe myself, like how I want to look or feel. Like sometimes I go through phases where I only want to wear what I'm comfortable in, so I'll just wear like hoodies and maybe leggings or jogger bottoms or something and just be comfortable, and then I don't really feel stylish, but that's what I'm happy wearing. But then other times I want to wear my nicer clothes or my funkier clothes because they make me feel prettier or cooler or more stylish. I don't think I would ever say that I'm fashionable. I've never been fashionable, but I kind of just, I don't know, I don't really have particular people that inspire my style, and I always think that my kind of style changes day to day, week to week, month to month even. Like a couple of years ago I think I had a dress phase where most days all I wanted to wear was a dress and a baggy dress, so that I felt, you know, comfortable and covered and cutesy and pretty. And then more recently I bought more of these like mesh tops, so I have a few of these. I don't even know what kind of style, basically I don't know what my style even is, so it is hard to tell you where the inspiration for my style comes from. I guess I just kind of see people and clothing on the internet and I'm like, I like that, I don't know whether I can pull it off, but maybe I'll try. Maybe that looks like it'll make me feel good, so I'll give it a go. And that's kind of how segue into the next question. How many items of clothes do you have? I feel I've never seen you in the same outfit twice. Yes, that's how I kind of pick things that I want to buy. I had a video just recently where I like sorted through all the clothes I own pretty much. But yeah, how many clothes do I own? Maybe too many. I have quite a small room, so it doesn't really seem practical to have as many clothes as I do. But I also think that I don't have as many clothes as a lot of girls would. And I do rewear outfits. So maybe it's just a case of like the outfits I put on days that I'm going to film, or outfits that I'm going to take pictures in for the internet, for like Instagram and stuff. I don't always wear the same outfits for those purposes, because it's like wanting to make your content new and different all the time. I don't think that much about my Instagram, I'll be real, but when it comes to like posting selfies or anything, I suppose if I've already posted a selfie in the same kind of clothes, in the same kind of like hair or makeup, then I won't want to repeat that on a different day, because I feel like I've already done it and pulled it off enough to want to post it. So I've already done that, let's try something new kind of thing. I don't know, but maybe that explains why. Do you clean bum in the shower? From my sister, thanks Neve. Yes. Do you listen to 21 Pilots? I know you love Panic, and I wanted to ask a question. Oh, that's sweet of you, thank you. I don't know very many 21 Pilots songs, actually. I like a few, like the ones that are popular, like Stressed Out and Heathens, but they're not one of the ones that I like religiously listen to. I don't know, I've never got into them. Not that I wouldn't, I'm always open to trying new music, even though I'm very varied in my music taste, but I can be very particular in and reluctant to like try new songs. Like if someone says, if someone says vaguely, listen to this band or artist, I'll be like, maybe I will one day. Because I get into habits of like watching the same YouTube and watching the same TV shows and then listening to the same music. So trying anything new like is breaking out of the comfort zone, which is what I find difficult. But if people are like if they directly pick a song and they're like, oh, I like this song, I think you'll like it too, then I'll typically always listen to that, because it feels less overwhelming. So I am willing to try new music, but you kind of have to push me a bit, I suppose, is the answer I'm going for. Some things you're currently really interested in. I love you so much, by the way. I love you too, Lily. Ah! You're the sweetest angel. Oh my god. Some things I'm currently really interested in. One thing that we share, that we're both really interested in, Corpse. I love Corpse. I listen to him a lot at the moment. Every day I'll listen to at least one of his songs. I suppose I've watched a lot of Ethan Nestor videos. I mentioned this in my last one. Again, like I said before, I get very obsessive about things and very like repetitive. Like if I find something that I like a lot, then it'll immediately become like my comfort watch, and I won't watch much else except for that. So that's kind of a thing that's sort of been happening with Ethan Nestor at the moment, current gameplays, like it did with Stephanie Sue. I still religiously watch Stephanie Sue videos, so that's a current obsession, but it's also like a long-standing obsession at this point. Oh, if you want to hear another thing music-wise that I'm really interested in, the two songs that I've had completely just stuck in my brain, Turning Page by Sleeping at Last, and Line Without a Hook by Ricky Montgomery. They have been playing over and over in my head, so I've had to be playing them over and over, either on my phone or on like Alexa, because I have to. I know repetitively listening to the same songs over and over is sometimes a dangerous game, but it fuels my soul. I need to listen to it, I need to sing along, and it just makes me feel good. It gives me all the lovely feelings in my body. Really fucking beautiful. Has the pandemic affected your mental health in any way? Tips on how you've coped. I'd be interested to look back and see what I said in the video where I said like how I plan to stay sane during the coronavirus pandemic, because I don't remember what I said. Okay, corona hit, people were starting to talk about it in my work, and they were like, oh my god, countries are locking down, jobs will shut, we won't be able to leave our houses. And I was like, wow, there's chaos all around me. Okay, there's always chaos in my head anyway, so the fact that now there's chaos around me is like, okay. I wasn't that phased at first. I had like lingering worries, but I wasn't that phased. It didn't freak me out as much as you might think. And then my job had to close, and we went into the first lockdown. First lockdown, I will say, was actually very good for my mental health. Throughout the first lockdown, I didn't self-harm once, made it to 100 days clean. Because I had to stop work, I kind of got my sleeping a bit better. I got back into hobbies that I had neglected for a long time, like drawing and painting and stretching, handstands in the garden, just stupid things like that, but they all sort of helped me get more back in touch with myself again, rather than just being like a stressed, lost ball in the wind, doing a job that was difficult and exacerbated a lot of mental health problems, but feeling like I had to do it to be like earning money, and it got so stressful that I needed a break, and lockdown 1 forced me to have a break, which was really important and really useful for me, I suppose. And it feels bad saying that like any of it was good for me when I know how much it's like wrecked people's lives. Like I fully respect that people have lost family members, and the lockdown situations have destroyed their mental health and made them more isolated than they ever were before, took them away from things that they relied on to stay safe. I know people have died, not because of corona, but because of, you know, like suicides from being isolated in the pandemic, which is why I feel like lucky and privileged that it hasn't negatively impacted me anywhere near as much as that. And in some ways, at least the lockdown orders in this country actually kind of benefited me, at least in the first lockdown. But then yeah, like kind of after that lockdown, for a long time it's just felt like I don't know what the hell's going on. Like it's again more of that, like the world is in chaos, but my brain was in chaos before anyway. So I kind of feel like I can handle it, or at times I've generally felt like I could handle it, which is why it didn't stress me out as much. Yeah, the in-between phase, you know, I kind of kept my mental health as better as I could, even though going back to work I was terrified that it would like mess up all the progress, and you know, self-harm would come back and I'd be horribly anxious all the time. And I was horribly anxious a lot of the time, especially through Eat Out to Help Out. Jesus Christ, I don't know whether I've talked about that enough. Eat Out to Help Out was absolute hell for me in a pub job, and it was absolute hell for a lot of people in the service industry. Yeah, no, that was a very anxiety-provoking time, and I didn't know whether I could keep handling it, and it did affect my mental health, trying to cope with like managing the pandemic in an environment where there was too many people for a pandemic. But you know, throughout the rest of like 2020, with the pandemic still going on, I've kept mostly stable. Like I said, I've only relapsed once this year, since the early part of the year where it was happening a lot more. Lockdown 2 has been different. I think I've not been as like good through lockdown 2, I guess because it's winter. Probably played a part too because the weather was really bleak. Yeah, I've been okay. I think for the most part how I've coped is just really throwing myself into distractions. If you don't have like productive life things, or you don't feel able to do productive life things to keep you distracted from like thoughts and feelings about your own life or the state of the world, then like just engaging in hobbies and things that make you feel good in any way or that take your mind off of it, like reading, watching films, watching TV, drawing, writing, filming, playing games, reading comic books, any of it, just completely throwing distractions at my face as much as possible. That's how I have coped. What else have we got? Can you do more videos in depth of theories like the one about your cat tattoo? Ooh, okay. Yes I can. I can do that. I think the reason that I haven't done that yet is because I've thought that people wouldn't be interested in that. Maybe more of you do want to watch it, so if you agree with that person and you'd like me to talk in depth about different theories that I either know from my study of physics or psychology, I enjoy researching and I enjoy learning about obscure things or sciencey things, and if you want me to dive into it and give you as much as I can find on the topic, then I will do that. I find that sort of thing very interesting too. So okay, what else do we have? What is your biggest fear? Probably, I was about to say failure, But I kind of don't think that's the word for it anymore. I think now it would be like not finding something to pour myself into that makes me happy. I suppose my biggest fear then would probably be unhappiness, like prolonged unhappiness and abandonment. I'm definitely always terrified that the people I love will leave me. But yeah, those two, one of those two. How is your mental health? I assume you mean right now. I'm feeling okay. I'm really feeling okay. In the past couple weeks, past 3 weeks, I've had definitely large roller coaster of emotions and feelings. I try to keep a positive head on my shoulders and just kind of ride the waves, and I know that I've gotten through really horrible times in the past, so like small blips here and there, even big blips here and there, I know I can get through them. So that's how I handle things right now, and that's why I kind of feel like I'm doing okay. I've made massive improvements on like how bad my mental health was. Even February, March this year, I'm so much better than I was then, so I'm proud of that. Have you ever had sex with a girl? No, I haven't. So my relationship history is minimal anyway. I haven't even kissed many people. Hey baby, hi little chicken, coming to hang out? Oh, hello. Wow, you doing a pussy with the viewers. Please don't eat them though, jeez. Don't eat them. Agatha, stop it. Agatha, 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 Agatha. Please. I have not ever had sex with a girl. I never even kissed a girl, unfortunately. I think ultimately what sexuality comes down to is knowing how you feel about people and your attractions. That's what it boils down to. That's how simple it is. And I don't feel any less valid as a bisexual having not had interactions with women. I know that I think they're fucking beautiful, and given the opportunity, advice you would give to your younger self: I love you too, Catalina, I love you so much, oh my god. Definitely stop caring what other people think, because there's no fucking point. It's not their life, you're living your life, so be yourself, do what makes you happy, and honest to god, fuck anyone else who doesn't like that or doesn't agree with that. Like, please stop being afraid to be you, and stop like hiding yourself and trapping yourself with a million 40-foot walls around you, because there's just no way to live. Just don't be afraid to be yourself. I was always terrified of ever being judged negatively. I wanted to be liked by anyone and everyone possible, and therefore I was always nice to anyone and everyone possible, whether or not they were nice to me. I never stood up for myself when people would try and beat me down or make fun of me. I'd sit quietly and take it, because I didn't want to do anything to make anyone dislike me, and if they did dislike me, even if they were a piece of shit human being, then it would make me feel like the piece of shit human being. Even though I never did a damn thing wrong to them, I was always so hard on myself, and I always, it is like perfectionism, but just to an extreme in every part of life, whereby I wouldn't ever want to do or say anything if I thought that somebody else might not like it. And you can't live like that. You can't. Whether somebody else likes it or not doesn't always matter. Obviously it matters that you respect everyone, should they deserve it. Because people deserve respect and they deserve kindness and understanding. I always knew that and I always understood that, but I acted in respect for people that never deserved it. I contained large parts of myself for a very long time, and I still do this, and it's why it's so incredibly difficult for me to make friends and connect with people and be comfortable around people, is because I'm still getting out of the habit of having all of these massive walls up and overthinking every single little thing do or say. And even like if I'm sat in a room with people who are my friends, if I'm getting particularly anxious about what they might think about me, or how I'm coming across to them, then I will even like overthink micro movements, even like how I'm sat, how I pick up my glass of water, how I eat my food, how, you know, how I get up to go to the toilet, how I get up to go to the kitchen, even like who I look at, where my head's placed. I would overthink absolutely everything, and I still do this, and I'm still trying to train myself out of that. So to younger me, you've got a lot to work on, and you'll still be working on it many years later, but that's totally okay, because that's like a big part of life. What you need to learn is that you will never be perfect, and that's okay. Perfect doesn't really exist. All you have to be is you. And don't be afraid to be you. You know when I had money, maybe when you're not being the same, when I've been at my butt and emotion. Right, these ones are: what and who inspired you to start YouTube? The like vague answer: I have loved and watched YouTube since probably pre-teen years of my life. It's like been a big part of how I spend my time watching it, and I always looked up to the people that I watched, even from the beginning. I can't remember half the YouTubers I was like really into back in the beginning, but you know, there was always that glimmer of, oh wow, how cool would it be to be like them. And nowadays I am, you know, rational enough and reasonable and honest enough with myself to know that I will probably never be like them, but that doesn't mean I can't make YouTube videos if I want. The people that I used to watch maybe are at a level that people just don't get to anymore, and the likelihood of getting to that level of success with this platform is just a lot more limited now. So, you know, I understand that, and, you know, starting YouTube now, in like the past couple of years that I did, I was fully aware of that fact, and it had to not stop me, I suppose. I need to sneeze. Babushka. Why I started making YouTube videos about mental health: Marie Seneschal. You were my inspiration for that, so thanks. 3 things that you are excited for in 2021. Corona being over, for one. Yeah, just like everything to do with Corona being over, like the greater amount of freedom, just to have some fun again would be really good, you know. And see friends. I haven't seen all of my university friends for a long time. It would be so much easier to like have gathered again and hung out and done things if it weren't for Corona. And probably also like maybe getting to go on holiday would be cool. It said what 3 things, and I probably said multiple more, but just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. How did you manage to find such an amazing boyfriend? Can you guess who sent that question? How did you manage to find such an amazing girlfriend? The last one I have here: favourite dance competition you performed in, must show photos. Oh, that's a lot of pressure. Whether or not I'll show photos depends on editing Fionn and her willingness to put in the effort to find said photos or videos to show you, but probably one of the street competitions we did as like a street crew, because they were just a lot of fun, and I think we were actually kind of good. It was just fun. It was really fun. One of the first times we performed just a local sport competition that was then connected with like a mini dance competition. Maybe it was a talent competition, but we did that as our street crew, and we medalled, and I got to meet Linford Christie, who is a Olympian, possibly, for the UK, but he nicknamed me the Green Lantern from then on, because when he met me in amongst all of these activities on the same day, I had like a bright green stripe painted on my face, so he named me Green Lantern, and that was cool. I don't know if any of that was good, or if you were interested. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found my answers to your questions valuable. Follow my Instagram and my Twitter and my TikTok if you want, so that if any future things connected with this YouTube channel come up where I ask for your guys' input, then you can be a part of that. Yeah, I hope you liked it. It was baby's first Q&A. I thought this was really fun and cute. I really don't know if I answered the questions like concisely enough or in enough detail that you would want, but I tried my bestest, I did, and I hope you liked it, I hope you appreciated it, because I really love when YouTubers I like do Q&As. I love you. Please subscribe to watch me in future videos. Please like the video if you liked it. Please share a comment down below of future questions if you would like to be involved in any future Q&As. I'll do it. Tell me, I'll do it. I hope you're enjoying my content. Good night.
Do you think there's a sort of curse of Star Baker? It seems that the Star Baker the following week really suffers.
That's because they were really rowing and it was really awful.
Kate was spared.
Oh, that was really tough. That was really tough.
What's going on?
Stop getting distracted by the bike.
Cheap.